March 28, 1966. A 17-year-old senior, Danny Goldman, is living with his parents in their home in Surfside, Florida. However, that night, Danny was abducted by an intruder in his own home. For years, this case has been unsolved, and to this day still is. Danny was known to enjoy electronics, specifically working on television sets. Danny also loved spending time with his girlfriend, Sharon Lloyd. Aaron Goldman, his father, was a contractor and builder who was very successful. Stella Goldman, his mother, was an interior designer. On March 29, 1966, Danny was planning on celebrating his 18th birthday and was also planning on registering to the Selective Service Office with his mother. However, the day before, at 4:30 a.m., the sliding glass door to the home was unlocked by an individual. The intruder came in and addressed each family member in the house by their first names. He tied up Sally and Aaron and demanded $10,000, which would be over $93,000 in today's money. However, the intruder only found some money in Aaron's wallet. He took that and Danny with him. He told the family that the starting ransom amount would be $25,000. However, if they couldn't get it by 6 p.m. that evening, he would double it to $50,000. After this, the abductor didn't contact the family, and the family never gave the abductor money. After the abduction, police came to the Goldman home and started investigating. They found a fingerprint of a surgical glove. It was believed that the abductor might have cut part of the glove off by accident. It turns out the glove was a medical glove, most likely being made in Canada. Being made in Canada, you couldn't buy this glove in the United States. It is theorized that the glove was most likely stolen from someone's briefcase. As soon as this was figured out, the Surfside, Florida police alerted the Canada Medical Association with the description of the abductor. As far as what this abductor looked like, Aaron said he wasn't able to get a good look at him. However, he said he might have known the man. He was described by Aaron as a Caucasian male with a Midwestern accent. Being around 5'8" to 5'11", he looked to weigh about 180 to 200 pounds. He had gray hair and was also wearing glasses with silver rims. He was wearing a baseball cap and he was wearing darker clothes and was most likely in his 50s. However, this case was never solved, and a childhood friend of Danny, David Grobart, said that the days became weeks and the weeks became months. We thought he would be back in 2 or 3 days somehow with this crazy story to tell. It's New Year's Eve, 1981. 15-year-old Charlie Hall, who lived in northern Nashville, left his mother's apartment to go over to his ex-girlfriend's house at around 3 p.m. Soon after he left, his mother, Mildred Carwell, went to the grocery store, and when she came back, she found that her son wasn't back home yet. It turns out that Charlie went over to try to convince her to change her mind about the breakup. At around 5 p.m., he left his girlfriend's house crying, with her not agreeing for them getting back together. She asked him where he was going before he left, and according to her, Charles said, "Don't worry about it." Charles didn't take any clothes or 2 of his favorite things, which was his bike and his tape recorder. His family said that Charles was not the type to just run away and disappear for a few days and then come back. It might have not been his breakup that was just affecting him, but also at the time of his disappearance, his parents were divorced, which could have had an effect on him. Unfortunately, there wasn't any details of where he could have gone, and to this day, this case still remains unsolved. It's a cold, snowy night in Ellenville, New York. Joseph David Held, who was 17, and 3 of his other friends, Wade Marks, Kelly Diaz, and John LaForge, were hanging out in an abandoned ski lodge, Mount Cathalia. It was January 16, 1987, and the group decided they were going to go on a drive at LaForge's Subaru during the night. That night, when the 4 of them were on their drive, their car got stuck in the snow at around 3:30 a.m. on January 17, 1987. All 4 of them attempted to push the car out of the snow, but they were unable to do so. Joseph decided to walk to a nearby village, which is around 5 miles away. Soon after Joseph left, the group left the car to try to get to safety. All of them made to safety. However, Joseph still wasn't with them. They thought that he went home, but a call that took place the next day said otherwise. It was the evening of January 17, 1987. It was around 5:30 p.m. when Joseph's boss at the auction barn, which is Joseph's place of employment, called Joseph's mother, Lee Ann Houseman, and reported that Joseph didn't show up to work. Lee thought this was odd behavior because she knew that he would never skip work. Joseph's family began to worry about Joseph when he didn't show up that same evening. Joe's aunt said that they told me that Joe hadn't shown up for work that night, and well, I just got this sinking feeling. At that moment, I knew, I don't know how, but I knew something bad had happened. On January 17th, the family reported Joseph missing, and that weekend a massive search was launched by the Ellenville Police Department. However, soon after the search was launched, it expanded to the New York State Police. Helicopters and police dogs were used to locate Joseph, and they were looking all over. They even went as far as looking into caves. Fortunately, the search would be called off until the spring due to the cold and snowy weather conditions. However, when they picked it back up, due to the period of time that passed since Joseph's disappearance, there was no trace of Joseph anywhere. Well, thank you all for tuning into the video. One quick announcement before I end the video up here. I made a brand new Instagram account for like video previews and updates on new videos, and I actually posted a preview for this video on that Instagram, so I'll put it on screen right now. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, and thank you all for watching. See you later, and goodbye.